What's up, everybody? Hold on, y'all, 1 second. Hold on. Y'all, I'm gonna get some light up in here. What's up, y'all? All right. YouTube now don't even give you time to get prepared. I was up here, putting together something and I pressed live and I was gonna put my phone in a holder and then all of a sudden it's like countdown and you laugh. What's up, everybody? Happy Sunday. Tasha checking in with another video. So I just wanted to come on and chit chat with you all. How y'all doing? How y'all living? We're going to talk about some little what y'all think about certain topics that's going around. Normally this is my story time Sunday, but y'all, I was torn. I could not decide what story time to tell y'all today. Really, I could not. I was going through my Rolodex of life and I was just like, what story time was story time? However, I have several story times on my channel that are old. And so if y'all do need a story time, y'all can go ahead and look on my channel and look at some of the story times that I have posted, and I'm going to post them on my community wall too, so y'all can check it out and be able to access it easier, because maybe you can't find it. I'm not sure. But anyway, Sunday today was great. I went to church, and the word was right on time. It was really, really good. After that, my husband mother had a birthday party at his restaurant, and so I went there and was able to commune with the family, things like that. So did that for a couple of hours, and now I'm here at my house with you all, chatting it up about some things that's going on in the world, which I think about these certain topics, things like that. A few updates on some topics in case y'all are not aware, and we just going to chit chat and talk with each other. Okay, so if it's your first time joining me, go ahead and like this video, comment in the comment section, and most importantly, subscribe to the Redefine Me channel, because we have a great time over here. All right, y'all, so a couple of things that is going down. First of all, I want to encourage you all, first and foremost, that everything that you're going through is going to be okay. And I'm talking to not only y'all, but I'm talking to myself too. So I want to start off with some encouragement, y'all. Everything is going to be okay. Whatever you all are going through in life, I know this world is whirling, this life is lifing, everything is just hectic and all over the place. What's up? How you doing? Welcome to the live. I can't really see your name, but I just want to encourage you all to let you know that God is in control. Everything you're going through is going to be okay. Just keep the faith. Make sure that God is good. What's up, Alexander? Make sure you keep the faith. Make sure you pray. Make sure you just trust God, and He is going to work every situation out that you all are dealing with, okay? And so that's my encouragement before we start talking about other things that's going on in the world. So a few things, some of these hot topics and things that's going on, let me know what y'all think about these things, okay? So first up, y'all, is the topic about the girl that hit the other girl, the track stars, high school track stars. What's going on, Delilah? I think that's how you say your name. High school track stars, the one girl that hit the other girl over the head with the baton. What do you all think about that particular situation? Now, update on that. The girl that struck the girl with the baton, she is actually going to be brought up on charges. Now, she is a high school senior. You ran track. What's up, He Black? She is a high school senior, so maybe you can tell me what you think about this. She was in a relay race, and she did it intentionally. You think she did it intentionally? Ooh, I don't know. Well, you ran track. You let me know. She was doing a relay race, y'all. She says that the girl came into her lane and tripped her, and as she was running with the momentum, her arms was pumping, and when the arm comes down, the girl just happened to be too close to her, got in her way, and so that's how she got hit with the baton, okay? You said she was probably talking smack. I don't know what was going on the track. However, they are now charging the girl that hit her. So, do y'all think she should be charged? I know He Black said he thinks it was intentionally done. From the video that they are showing us, from that angle, it does look like it was intentional. The girl did come out and she said that it was not intentional. And she said that she's not that type of person. She would never do that. And so it wasn't intentional. Yes, pay close attention to her stride and her gallop. There is no way that such an abnormal swing would have caused by someone running in stride with you. Yeah, that is true. Alexander said, I've never been beaten for something I didn't deserve. Yeah, you make a good point, because when I watched the video several times. I even watched it in slow motion. I did not see the girl that got hit go into her lane or trip her at all. You have to hit someone incredibly hard with a baton to cause concussion. Yeah, that was something else that was brought up. She was saying that she has a concussion, and now I've never held one of those batons. Are they made of plastic, or are they like a metal type piece? Because if it's a plastic lightweight thing, and I would assume that it's lightweight because you have to run with it, and so if it's a lightweight situation, like He Black just said, you got to be swinging it pretty hard in order to cause a concussion. They are metal, but it is light metal. Oh, okay, it's light metal. Yeah, but then I'm thinking, like, if she's running at a pace and she's swinging her arms like this, could that momentum have caused a detrimental blow to the head? If y'all in the room, we just chit-chatting about current hot topics and some updates. Y'all go ahead and hit the like button. What's up? Hi from Russia. How are you? How are you? Welcome to the live. So, I mean, at the end of the day, she is a high school senior. And that doesn't mean anything just because she's still a minor and a child. She is probably going to be held accountable. Now, I don't know if these charges are going to lead to any jail time. I don't know what's going to happen. I will let you all know, because I'm going to keep my ear to the streets. But, you know, I don't know. I do feel bad for both parties involved. Especially the girl who got hit with the baton. I really feel bad for her, because, you know, imagine running and doing something you love and then all of a sudden get hit in the head out of nowhere. Like, that's kind of crazy. He Black said, no, pay attention to her arm swing. Her natural swing was changed when she swung for the girl's head. Oh, yeah. It was so blank for anyone who runs track. Wow. Runners know this. Wow. Yeah. Yeah, and it's crazy because I was torn. Like, once I saw her interview and she was crying and she was saying how she would not intentionally do anything like that, and my heart went out to her, and I was just like, well, maybe it was an accident. Like, maybe she was running and she thought that from her peripheral that the girl was going to try to come over. And so, I mean, but that still doesn't mean that you're supposed to hit somebody if you think they're going to come over. My first initial thing would be, if I thought somebody was coming into my lane, would be to move over or something like that. But I'm trying to give her grace, because I don't know track, right? I'm very ignorant to that subject, right? But He Black knows, like, because he's telling us. And so I was trying to give her grace only because she's a minor and this has to be crazy for her and things like that. But there was a guy, and I cannot remember his name. There was an interview that was just put out that he did with her parents and her. And her mom seemed very aggressive. The dad seems like he was very understanding, but the mom was just very rah-rah and aggressive, because, you know, she was trying to just say that people are sending her daughter death threats and different things like that, which I don't think that's cool. Even if she did it intentionally, the girl should not be receiving death threats. Now, that's just a lot. What's up, Adam? So you should not be sending no minor, no death threats or anything like that. However, this situation has happened, and unfortunately, if they find that it was intentionally done, because right now, I don't know if they're saying it's intentional, but if they find that it is, she might be doing some time. I don't know. My thing is, just say, sorry, it was an accident. Yeah, you know, I mean, it was kind of like she was saying a backhanded apology, because she was just like, you know, I wanted to apologize to her through her Instagram. Excuse me, but she blocked me, right? That's what the girl said that had hit her. Then the parents came out during the interview I just told y'all about, and they said that they tried to reach out to the girl's parents that got hit, and they wanted to do a Zoom call to just talk to the parents and apologize. Now, they said the parents did not do the Zoom call. Um, I think that there's a lot of noise, outside noise from society, because we got this video, right? And we saw it and everybody immediately assumed it was intentional. But not just we assumed from the video, because if you watch the video, the people in the audience also saw it and everyone gasped in the crowd. So if they gasped in the crowd, they're obviously thinking that, of course, she got hit and it was intentionally done. So yeah, I don't know what's going to come of this. It's messed up because I feel like now, because of this, the trajectory of her future is going to be definitely affected. However, we shall see. I don't know. But let's move on to another update of a story that we can discuss. Caleb Wilson, if y'all don't know who that is the young man who went to Southern University A&M in Louisiana, and he died due to a hazing from Omega Psi Phi. He Black said, I'm surprised to see how many people are relying on her. It's civil rights. I saw that story. Yeah. So Caleb Wilson, he was a 20-year-old junior. He went to Southern University A&M, okay? He was pledging Omega Psi Phi. And initially, the story went that they were in a park, they were online, and he just passed out. Okay, now that was the base story. That was the best they could come up with. I was like, if I was going to lie, I would have came up with a better lie than that. Okay, cap, exactly. So now, after that, absolute cap, right? After that, the story came out, the real story. They were in a warehouse, okay? In this warehouse, they were on set. They were showing up for set. So when you are pledging a fraternity or sorority, set is when you have to dress in a certain type of clothes and they're about to make you do something or hazing or whatever. So it's, set. That's what they call it. So they were there in this warehouse, and the upperclassmen or former graduates of the school showed up and was punching the pledgees in the chest. Now, they had on boxing gloves and they punching these boys in the chest. Now, Caleb McRae is the first one that got arrested, because Caleb McRae is the one that landed the final blow that killed Caleb Wilson, which is ironic, is that Caleb McRae had the same name as Caleb Wilson, which is crazy. He'll never forget this scenario and situation for two reasons. Because his life is now affected and he had the same name as a deceased. And so they were punching him in the chest. Caleb passed out. He had a seizure. He hit his head. And instead of them calling 911, they changed him out of his set clothes, okay, into probably some other clothes. And then they transported him to the hospital. Now, they transported him 15 minutes after the incident had happened to the hospital, and they did not go to the closest hospital that they could find. So, by the time he got to the hospital, of course, he was deceased. Now, fast forward. First of all, the person that is the co-owner of the warehouse, his name is Todd Smith. Todd Smith's son, Todd Smith went to Southern University. His son is an Omega and goes to Southern University. So if you put two and two together, Todd Smith is the co-owner of the warehouse, and his son probably came to him and asked him to use the warehouse for the hazing incident, okay? So now, fast forward, charges have been brought of death by hazing, and I think they've also had manslaughter and some other charge. There's been 3 people arrested, okay? There's been Isaiah Smith, there's been Caleb McRae, and I can't remember the other guy's name, okay? So now Caleb McRae has got out on bond. He is out on bond for $75,000. He made that bond. How did he make that bond? Because he is a graduate student, and so he's still low on funds. I believe that his brothers of Omega Psi Phi ended up helping him make that bond, okay? In these fraternities and sororities, there is a lot of demonic, crazy stuff that goes on within there. There's a lot of cover-up and things that go on within these sororities and stuff like that, because they feel like it's a sisterhood or a brotherhood, and they want to have your back and make these connections and feel like they belong. And all this other craziness, right? And so, unfortunately, because of this hazing situation, Caleb Wilson is no longer with us. Now, hazing in the state of Louisiana is illegal due to the fact that another young man had passed. And I had his name. Hold up, y'all. I had his name. Oh, I don't see my book up here. But it was another young man that passed back in the day due from hazing. He was a Caucasian young man, and he was pledging a fraternity. He ended up getting hazed by doing a drinking game. And so he got alcohol poisoning and he died. He was only, I think, 18 or 19 years old. So after he died, his parents decided to go before the law of the land board. I don't know if they went before Congress or whoever, and they passed a hazing act where it is illegal to haze in certain states. And Louisiana is one of those states that you cannot haze in. So this school that Caleb Wilson went to is in Louisiana. And so because of that, I believe that the 3 young men that have been arrested are going to be facing some hard time in jail because of this. We shall see what happens, but this freaking story has really rocked the whole world, actually. Well, I can't say the world, but at least within the United States, because it's extremely sad and senseless. Like, you did not have to continue to punch him. And if you see Caleb Wilson, you would know that he's a small frame young man. So I don't know how big these other guys are, but imagine being punched in the chest by somebody who's significantly larger than you with boxing gloves on. And then the mere fact that they didn't even think to call 911, because of course they were not trying to get in trouble, right? Because of what they had done. But they moved the body, they changed his clothes, they did all this stuff. My initial thought, I don't care what it is, would be to call 911. He passed out. Calling 911, having the medics there, having the police come. At least you could have said, we were on set and we were making them do something, or come up with some other type of excuse or whatever, and he passed out and we're sorry about it. Maybe you would not have gotten so much flack, so much time. Of course, stuff would have been said to y'all. Of course, y'all would have probably had some consequence. But now that he passed, and it was probably, if they would have called 911, I believe that they would have been able to perform some type of CPR or something like that, give him some type of medicine or something to revive him. But because they didn't decide to go that way and he died from this incident, now they're facing some extreme charges and possibly a long time in jail. So we shall see what happened with that case. It's just sad. It really, really is sad. You know, as a parent, you send your child to school to learn, and they join up with these sororities, fraternities, trying to find themselves and see where they belong. And then they end up going through this process and end up dying. And he's not the first one. There is a plethora of universities and sororities and fraternities who have done hazing that has caused people to lose their lives. And they don't report on those. And I'm going to try to dig some of those up and share them with y'all and see if we can have a talk about it after this. But yeah, that's the story on Caleb Wilson. Hopefully his family can get some type of peace once this case is over and the proper people can be put in jail. But I doubt that they would ever have any real peace because their child is gone. So it's just sad. Moving on to another story update. So y'all remember the woman who left her children in the house for 4 years. She had 3 children. Now, if y'all don't know the backstory, this particular woman left her kids in the house for 4 years. It started during COVID. Okay? Crazy story. Now, the children, she actually has 4 children, but 3 of them were left in the house. The 4th child's father came and picked up that child and went on about his merry way. I have an issue with that, but we're going to talk about that in a minute. And so she left them and was sending food once a week, and that was it. She left them in squalor conditions. Squalor means that it was just nasty, dirty. It's the most ridiculous conditions that you could ever live in. Her oldest son, who was 15 years old, was sleeping on a mattress on the floor, something ridiculous on the floor that he was sleeping on. And the other girls were sleeping on pizza boxes. When they showed the pictures of the house, it had feces everywhere. It had food everywhere. Like, it was just disgusting. I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy, okay? okay? And she left her children to live in that while she moved out in the same area and moved away from her children. What kind of horrible mother is that, right? Now, update, to add fuel to the fire, not only is she being charged with child neglect and she's currently in jail, she's also now been brought up on new charges, which means she has something else added on that can be added on to her sentence. So now she's been brought up on welfare fraud charges, okay? She has been scamming the system. Okay, she has scammed the federal government. I think it's out of like $30,000 or something. So they was giving her food stamps and other stuff for the children. However, she'd been moved from the children. So she was not using the government funds on the children. She was probably using them on herself wherever else she had moved to and was living at. What's up, Big Trent? So, you know, this woman now, in addition to the former charges, she now also adds welfare fraud onto those charges. This lady is never getting out of jail. This is a really ridiculous story. What kind of mother will leave your children to live in squalor conditions while you go and move in with a roommate somewhere else? They interviewed the roommate, right? I see your back. They interviewed the roommate and the roommate was like, I didn't even know she had kids. So the roommate is just in the dark as everybody else that did not know about this situation. Okay, so the mother is locked up in jail. They found the children on February 14th, Valentine's Day, and they put her in jail on that day as well. Now, my question is, the father of the fourth child that came and picked the child up, yeah, it was a mess, wasn't it? The father of the child that he came and picked up, why didn't you get the other kids? I need an interview with the father of the child that got picked up, because even if those are not your kids, sir, and you realize that this woman, you picked your child up for a reason. It was either that you knew that something was mentally wrong with her or you knew that something was about to go down. So why didn't you pick up all of the children? If you didn't want to raise them, at least drop them off at the police station or at least drop them off at a relative's house or something. See, he is just as much at fault as she is, in my opinion, even if it's not your children. If you picked up your child, you had to have known that something was up with her for you to pick up the child. So I don't know, and even if it's not your child, that is still your child's brother and sisters. So at the end of the day, they're still family. And you just thought, let me get my child and forget about the other children. You're trash, okay, in my opinion. So we're going to see what happens with that. Y'all let me know what y'all think about it. The next update. So another mother, remember the mother that was sleeping in her van with her children, her sisters and brothers, her mom, and I don't know who else was in there. Like, it was a whole van full of people, and they were homeless, sleeping in this van. So the children supposedly had died from hypothermia. She gets on the TV, she's crying, and she tells us that her children unfortunately had died because the car had cut off during the night. So because the car had cut off during the night, then that's when the heat has stopped. So the kids have froze to death. Now, fast forward, we find out that they did not actually freeze to death. After the medical examiner had did their autopsy, we found out that they had died of carbon monoxide poisoning. Now, I believe, and this is my theory, that it was the van that they were sleeping in probably had some fumes and things coming up from it, and these babies inhaled it and they died from that. Now, they are actually about to charge her. She is being charged because they died of the monoxide poisoning. Now, I don't know. What do y'all think on this situation? Now, in my heart of hearts, I feel like, how can you charge this woman because her van was raggedy? You know, it was an accident that they died from monoxide poisoning. It's not her fault that her van was raggedy. That's all she had to drive and sleep in, right? On that end of it, you can look at it that way. Now, if it is found out that she actually did something to cause them to get poisoned, then yes, charge her. What's up, Janae? Welcome to the live, girl. Now, charge her, right? But if it's simply because her van was just raggedy, then how are you charging her for a raggedy van? So she's now having charges brought up on her as well. After the city has given her a house, and then she She has got a house. She got a place to live. There's a group that came forward and said they were paying her rent up for a year. So she has some things set up for her and everything. Just when it looks like life is going to be on the up and up, because she has to deal with the fact that her children are now gone, now they are charging her with the possible death of her 2 children. Just a really crazy story, right? And then on top of that, let's talk about the father. Now, the father is up here talking about that he was in the gym when he got a call from her saying that he needs to get to the hospital right away. The father and his family, in my opinion, because her family seems to have been living in the van with her. The father and his family is trash. And I'm going to say that because you mean to tell me this lady had been living in her van, I can't remember the amount of time, but she was living in her van for a period of time. And you didn't know that she was living in her van, sir? You're their father. So how was the relationship with you and the children? Because he said he had not seen the children in a couple of months. However, she'd been living in the van for a couple of months. You didn't notice that they looked tired. You didn't notice that their clothes smelled. You didn't notice that they smelled. You didn't notice that their hair was messed up. Like, please help me understand how you can be a parent and not notice that your children are suffering. So in my opinion, he is just as guilty as her. If anybody's going to be brought up on charges, if they're going to bring her up on charges, he needs to be brought up on charges as well. He claims that every time he was trying to see the kids and everything like that, it was always an issue. He said that when she called him, she would say, I need you to pick up the kids. He would ask her for what, and she would not specify. So he wouldn't pick up the kids. Sir, those are your children. Whether she specified why she needed you to get them or not, get the kids. If she called you and say, can you get your kids? Get your kids. What is the problem? No, but you out here in the gym living your best life while your kids up here sleeping in the van outside with nowhere to live in probably negative temperatures, because they were in a Pontiac, I think, Michigan, and it gets cold there. So this whole story is just messed up. And I don't believe she should be the only one brought up on charges for child neglect or for her children passing, because the father had just as much as a hand in it as she did. Anyway, next update. So we really right now, we just doing story updates, right? We chit-chatting, but we doing story updates. So Elon Musk, y'all know SpaceX, right? If y'all haven't heard of it. So SpaceX is supposed to be some type of rocket ship or whatever that Elon Musk is building up, right? And so Gayle King, as well as Katy Perry, and a couple of other women, some scientists and astronauts or whatever, they have put together this women's dream team, right? They're supposed to be going up into space. And I don't know if they're going to report on what they see, or if they're going to video if there's life forms or whatever. I don't know what the heck they're going up in space for. However, they're supposed to be going up in space on this SpaceX machine that Elon Musk has created, right? Now, they have tested several testings on these machines. They did 8 testing and all of them failed. 3 of them blew up, okay? Now, people are saying in Florida and Bahamas, they were seeing the debris and the fire and everything falling out of the sky because these SpaceX machines have blown up. Now, Gayle King is nervous because she is on her platform. Y'all know she's a news anchor. What is she on? Good Morning America. She on her platform really crying out to her staff without actually crying, saying indirectly that she is scared to go up into space. They are up here trying to tell her, girl, don't worry about it. You know, you're going to be the first one there on this team and blah, 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 and trying to encourage her. But Gayle don't want to go. And I believe that Gayle has an intuition on the inside that says, girl, I need to sit down. Gayle is 70 years old. Gayle, sit down somewhere. Do not let these people sit up here and try to make you go up into space when you know goodness well you don't want to go. So the rumor mill is that by next year, Elon Musk is going to have a SpaceX machine that is going to be able to travel to Mars. Elon needs to sit down somewhere for several reasons, okay? Number one, sir, if God wanted us to be on Mars, we would have been on Mars, but we're on Earth. Leave what is out there, and you deal with what's on Earth. That's number one. Number two, you're not a politician. Get out of the White House. I don't know why every time I never seen someone that is not in politics have so much access to the White House before in my life. And this is just a pure example of that. If you have enough money, you can basically run the world and do whatever the heck you want to do. Because Elon Musk is supposed to be what, the richest man in the world or something? I don't know. Y'all let me know. But he is just all over the place, it seems. He needs to stick to what he does. He said that he's an engineer. I don't know. But if that's what you do, sir, stay in your lane and stop trying to be all over the place, throwing your money all around because you feel like that you are now the savior of the problems in the U.S. when actually you're creating the problems in the U.S. So he's a weird little something. Every time I even see him, I'm waiting for him to just take his face off and for it to be an alien under there. And I'm going to be like, I told y'all he was weird looking and he looked like he's some type of freaking alien or something. Not to mention that he just recently had his 14th child. 14th child. And I also heard he was stingy with his money because he does not have his children set up where they would get something if something happens to him. Really insane. Just insane. Y'all let me know what y'all think. Next story up, right? Okay, so Gene Hackman, y'all know he passed away recently. Him and his wife, okay, was found deceased inside of their home, right? So he ended up setting up something where he was going to leave his wife all of his money. I think it was probably like 80, was it 80 million or 8 million? I can't remember. But anyway, he was going to leave his wife a lengthy piece of money. Probably because his wife was in her 60s and he was 95. So he probably thought she was going to be around for a little bit longer and he would leave all of the money to her. Now, because they both passed and he was very old and he had Alzheimer's, I think that's what he suffered from. He did not like reinvent his will or do what he needed to do to make sure that the money in the event that they both passed. He probably didn't think they was going to pass at the same time. Probably nobody did. However, he did not rectify that situation. So because he did not do that, he has 3 children. The children are going to get none of that money. And the money is going to end up going back to the government. I was like, oh my God. Why wouldn't he rectify the way? Like, he didn't have no lawyers or nobody in place. Like, first of all, it's sad what happened to them, right? It really, really is. However, why would you leave? It should have been like in the event that something happens to both of us, then this is what happens to the money. To know that you had all this money and now it's going to go back to the government or back, it's either the government or something else. I'll update y'all on who it is. But it's not going to any of his children, put it like that. So now the children not going to have none of the money. And it goes back to whatever a government agency or whatever. What y'all think about that? I think that's very crazy. I think that before you get in your older age, you should put into place a living will of things. It's going to charity. Okay, thank you, Janae. So it's going to charity. But what charity? I think that's a lie. It's going to the government. I don't believe it's going to a charity. I think it's going to the government. And I think that we all need to learn something from this. We need to make a living will. In the event that something happens to you, what are the steps that it goes? Like if something happens to me, does your spouse know your passwords? Do they know your social security number? Do they know where the life insurance policy is? Do they know your bank account information, where to find that? Like certain things need to be set up because you don't know what's going to happen from one day to the next. And then when you pass on, your spouse might have a hard time getting what they need to get to be able to bury you or getting what they need to get so they can continue on life without having your income and things like that. So we need to really pay attention to stuff like that. And this story should be a sounding alarm that, you can't just rely on the fact that maybe since your spouse is healthier than you or younger than you or whatever it is, that they are going to actually be able to just handle business. In this case, that wasn't the case. She ended up passing at the same time he did. So he did not have time to make those necessary adjustments that he needed to make. So this is sad. Oh, if y'all want to know what I'm drinking, this is Dunkin' Donuts Berry Burst Energy. I love this drink. So just a sad story. So did y'all hear that Kim Jong-un, which is the president of China, is it China or Japan? No, it's North Korea. He been over there testing nuclear weapons. He's been testing nuclear weapons. Kim Jong-un has always been a little scary to me. And I ain't even in North Korea, you know what I'm saying? But him and Putin and these other dictators have always been very interestingly. Now, I fear no man, right? Let me just say that. I fear God. I fear no man, right? Because God is in control. However, the fact that they went dark. All right, yeah, I'm sorry. Somebody called. I'm going to have to call her back. But the fact that they are these dictators that just had this power to do some heinous things with nuclear weapons, that kind of disturbs my spirit just a little bit. I don't think any person should have access to nuclear weapons. When we talk about nuclear weapons, you could fire that off and it could take out a whole state, a whole area, or whatever it is. Like, even to know that that lies in the hands of craziness, you know. And I don't know these men personally, but the way that they move and operate is very telling of someone who is unstable and could possibly push the button if you make them mad at any minute. A lot of people think that Donald Trump is crazy. And if y'all think Donald Trump crazy, I mean, Kim Jong-un and Putin, I mean, they a different type of crazy. You know what I'm saying? So Kim Jong-un been testing nuclear weapons. What y'all think about that? I pray. You know, I pray, because I don't know what's going to happen. But what I do know is that the fact that they actually even have access to those things is very troubling a little bit. However, God is in control. I'm not afraid, but it is a slight, should make you have a heightened sense of alert a little bit. But hopefully they don't think that they have to push the button on that. But I'm just stay prayed up, because that's all we can do. We don't have control over what it is that they may possibly do or they may not possibly do. So y'all let me know what y'all think about that. I'm trying to think of of any other stories that I have updates on as of right now. Right now, no. Those are kind of the hot topics that's going on right now. I don't really like talking about politics like that anymore. I used to sound off about it and everything on my channel, but I kind of don't like talking about them anymore because there's so much going on and I don't want to make nobody feel away. But, you know, we can all talk and disagree or agree to disagree or whatever it is. But some people get, you know, kind of disrespectful. And I'm just kind of like, okay, well, I ain't going to talk about it, right? Excuse me. But anyway, if you liked this chat on the Sunday, go ahead and hit the like button, okay? Go ahead and hit the subscribe button. Shout out to my replay watchers. Go ahead and comment in the comment section which update that you resonated with, that you wanted to talk about, or whatever it is. Let's get the conversation popping in the chat. I normally come on and do a story time, but today, you know, I had church. I had my husband's mom birthday party, and so it was a lot going on. So I was a little late coming on, but at any rate, I didn't really have a story time that I wanted to kind of share with you all this Sunday. I have a bunch of story times on my page. If y'all do want to go and watch some story times, I will actually drop them on my community wall so y'all could click on them and just listen to them and check in on that. But I don't have anything as of right now that I could think of that I want to, you know, give a story time on. But I do have some on my page, okay? So I will be back tomorrow with Motivational Monday. I'm going to do a short. I always do a short on Monday for Motivational Monday. So watch out for that. And yeah, y'all gonna see me more often because I'm trying to put out more videos. I'm just trying to structure how it is that I want to do my content. If y'all have any suggestions, go ahead, replay watchers, and drop them. And if y'all have anything y'all want me to talk about on videos and want me to come live about, go ahead and drop them in the comments. Now I'm going to keep my ear to the streets with all the hot topics and things that's going on. And I will come out if something happens and drop a video on it and we can talk about it, okay? So I love y'all so much. Thank y'all for joining me on this Sunday evening. I hope and pray that you all have the most successful week ever. That everything that you're expecting God to do this week, that He is going to do for y'all. That everything that is on your mind is going to quiet in your mind, and that you are going to have the most amazing week ever. So I love y'all so much. Thank y'all for joining this live, and until we meet again, bye, Janae. I love y'all so much. Until we meet again, bye.